Welcome back to Dickin' Around Outdoors. Today we're going to do something we have never done before on this channel, and that is review a product that was sent to us at no cost by the manufacturer. We're going to compare instant read thermometers. We always have one with us when we go camping and when we cook, because we want to make sure not only is our food done, but it's not overdone. And the one that we normally use is this one. It's the Thermapen One by ThermoWorks. It is probably the most well-known instant read thermometer on the market, and it is something that seems to win every test that we've seen. Now recently, a company reached out to us and asked us if we would do a review of their thermometer, the ChefsTemp Final Touch X10, which they say can compete very positively, if not beat, the Thermapen One. So we're going to go ahead, test these two products, and see if the Final Touch can live up to that expectation. Now, before we get started talking about the physical aspects of each one of these, let's talk about what they have in common. Both of these are instant-on thermocouple probes that are IPF67 waterproof certified, which means that you can submerge them into 3 feet of water without having ingress. Now, I don't know if you're temping most of your food underwater, but what the real aspect of that is, or what the real world implication is that if you happen to leave it out in the rain or you splash water on it, it's not going to hurt these units. They're also both certified by the NSF, which means that they're certified safe for use in commercial kitchens. So let's take a closer look at the Thermapen first. As we said, they're both instant on. You essentially just extend the probe and the unit turns on. You have the temperature reading automatically coming on, and the Thermapen actually will extend to 180 degrees. So that is the extent. However, the screen, if you rotate it, turns 365 degrees, which means no matter what orientation you use this probe, the numbers will always be facing you. Okay? The ChefsTemp actually has a probe, again, instant on, with a much brighter and larger screen. I forgot to mention that the Thermapen does have a backlight that automatically comes on when the light gets too low to read it. So the ChefsTemp, much larger screen, much brighter screen, and this probe not only extends to the 180 degrees, but does extend a full 270. That's very nice if you happen to be left-handed, or if you're trying to probe meat in your smoker from both the left side and the right side. So I do like that feature a lot on the ChefsTemp. Another aspect of the ChefsTemp, although it also has a screen that rotates, it only rotates to the horizontal plane, which means that if you are probing up and down, you're having to look at the readout from the side. So you do get some rotation, but not the entire rotation on 360. What you do get, however, with the ChefsTemp are a few features that are lacking in the Thermapen or are extra cost accessories. The first is you have a hole that you can hang this from an S-hook on your smoker. If you're outside grilling, you can hang it on your tool rack. That's very nice. You also have a magnet in the back that if you want to put it against your refrigerator and hang it, if you want to put it on the leg of your smoker while you're cooking, you always know where it is. You don't set it down and forget where it is when you need it. And another feature of this ChefsTemp that is really nice is that, let's say you are trying to reach into the back of your oven or into the back of your smoker and get a temp on a piece of meat, but you can't see the readout because you're reaching back in. If you press this button, it will hold the temperature while you pull the thermometer out, and you can look at it without losing your temp. That's another really nice feature. From an ergonomic standpoint, the Thermapen is slightly smaller and weighs about a 1/4 ounce less and is smooth all the way around. You don't have any gaps that make it uncomfortable to hold. Although the ChefsTemp is comfortable, it does have a gap where the probe fits, and that is a bit awkward feeling in my hand. It's not painful, it's just awkward feeling. So from an ergonomic standpoint, I think the Thermapen has a slight advantage. So let's take a look, because the most important thing in any thermometer is, does it read the correct temperature and does it read quickly? So let's have a look at how these perform. first test we're going to do is the classic ice water test. Just see how quickly these read, and if they read the same temperature. They should be reading right at about 32 degrees. This is an ice slurry, so let's see how they do. All right, as I said, and don't pay attention to the temperatures now. Neither one of these is made to read air temperature. So let's get these in the ice bath and see what they do and how quickly they read. We've got 31.3 and 32, so they're very close. They're both very fast. I think actually the ChefsTemp read that slightly quicker. But given the accuracy specs of these two thermometers, the ChefsTemp at 7/10 of a degree and the Thermopen at 5/10 of a degree, I'd say this is almost an identical reading, and both of these did an exceptionally good job of reading accurately and quickly. So next up is the obligatory boil test. Quick note, I did run the boil test before, and the ChefsTemp was reading about a degree lower than where I thought it should be. So I did run the calibration procedure that they outlined in the books and dialed this in exactly to 32 degrees in the water slurry. Let's see how it reads compared to the Thermopen. And by the way, on the first boil test, it was reading about a degree lower than the Thermopen as well. So let's see how they do. And as a note, given our elevation, I do not expect this to reach 212. So let's see where they are. .210, 211. 211 is about what I expect here. 211 on the Thermopen, 210, give or take. So we're very close. 210, 211. 210 on the ChefsTemp, so very, very close. I think both of these things are reading right on. So quick calibration, it took me all of about 4 minutes to do it. It is worth it if you get the ChefsTemp right out of the box. I've never touched the Thermopen. And what I didn't show in the video, because camera lady was out of town, is that I did use the ChefsTemp this weekend when I was smoking a couple pork butts. I got to use it extensively. I did compare it with the Thermopen. It worked very well. I couldn't tell any thermometer performance difference in the two. So, at the end of the day, what do I think the advantages of the Thermopen are? First off, I think it has a little more robust probe. It's thicker, slightly longer, so if you're using a big cut of meat, you can get incrementally deeper into the meat to do your temping. It uses one battery with a 2,000-hour battery life, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Price, list price, no sales, $99.95. And the Thermopen is proven in professional environments for quite some time, constantly improving their product. So it's a very well-known product. ChefsTemp. I think they've done a great job. The thermometer performance, as you saw, was on par with the Thermopen. It didn't give up anything in performance. I do like the 270-degree probe. I think that's going to be helpful to a lot of people. The hanger option, the magnet, the hold button. And by the way, you have to press the hold button again or you're going to keep your temperature, so just be aware of that. All make this a very, very solid competitor. I think either one would make a fantastic addition to your kitchen. The price on the ChefsTemp without any discounts is $89.99, so there's a $10 discount. If you wanted to get the magnetic holder for this, that's an additional cost. So for the money, you do get more. There's one other item that I think will matter to some folks, and I want to bring it up, is the Thermopen is made in the United Kingdom, a geopolitical ally. The ChefsTemp is made in China. So if that matters to you, just be aware that there is that difference as well. If that doesn't matter to you, then for $10 less, I think you get a very solid performing temperature probe that would do you proud in the kitchen. I think either one of these is a great buy, and either one of these will serve you well. I don't know the longevity on this. Also has a 5,000-hour battery life, but it uses 2 AAA batteries instead of 1, so you would expect it to last longer. So I really hope you enjoyed learning about these thermometers. Both of them are great. I think you would have no problem with either one. If you like the content, make sure you give us a thumbs up, hit that sub button in the lower right hand corner and share this with your chefy friends that might be interested. And as always, take care, and we'll see you outdoors.